everybody, it's Callie and I'm here to show you how I make my bookmarks. It's something I like to do every month, and I always do the planner printables, and this month I also did one of the free printables that Christine sends out via email to subscribers. And I'm going to use a backer card and some rub-ons, and I'm going to show you where I'm going to get started here. So first things first, I'm taking my printed January bookmarker with the 3 cards on it, and I am gluing with the glue stick this printable page that came from Christine in email today to the back of it, so that when I cut it down I have a pattern on the back, so it's not just white. So here you'll see me starting to cut down one of the papers that's in the kit. This is a standard size printable. Now I'm going to cut down the bookmarks. And what I like to do at first is just sort of get them close to the crop marks that are included. And then I'll do some fine adjusting later as I get them sorted out where I want them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these 3x4 cards yet at this point, but I do like having them prepared and ready so that at some point during the month I'll find a use for them, and I like that they now have a cute back to them. So now that this is the one I use every month as a bookmark, and I'm going to laminate it, as you'll see in a little bit, but first I like to get it cut out and do a little tab at the top and make it so that I can find my spot in my planner. So now you're going to see me go through and just sort of going through my memory keeping cards, my embellishments, my die cuts, and trying to decide how I want to decorate this. So I'm going through the stack and I can't decide what I want to do on this one. So I think what you're going to see here is that I'm going to set it aside and work on the bookmark instead for a moment, because I just couldn't decide. So anyway, on to the bookmark. So I had found this little die cut of the page clamp, and I'm going to use it at the top of the bookmark as sort of a little tab that'll stick up out of the top of my planner. I'm using a standard size planner, so what I'm going to do here, I had already cut out, punched out some of the papers made some circle punches, and then I thought this was a 1-inch die cut, so I cut out a 1-inch circle, and it was too small because I didn't want the back part that's going to stick up to just be white. So what I decided to do instead is I went ahead and just glued the die cut to another piece that I had and decided to fussy cut it out so that it will have a back to it. And that actually worked out just fine. Should have just done that in the first place. It's not perfect, the fussy cutting, but you sure can't tell once it's laminated. Okay, so using that glue stick, which I have been using a lot of it since we got it in this kit, and I think that they're going to offer it in the store as well. So I'm looking forward to that so I can get some more, because I love them. There used to be some pen glue sticks like this by Prima that I have and loved because they're so portable and easy to use, but they quit making them. So I'm glad to see that these are going to be available. Okay, so here I am, my process of just going through die cuts, laying them out on here, seeing what I like, what I don't like. I do have my die cuts sort of separated over in that little tray. Pictures separated from words, etc. I finally just pulled out a little scrap of leftover paper and decided to use that as a little backer for January there. And cutting it to the exact right size, I'm just going to glue it on to the back of my bookmark here. And the back will turn out being almost just as cute as the front. So it won't matter which way it's in the planner. It's just going to look good. I liked these little plants because they felt fresh for January. They kind of go with that paper there that's got those leaves on it, and that die cut was a little big for where I wanted it. It hung off the edge, but I just trimmed it, and that was fine. Okay, so I'm finally going back to that other page marker. Now what I do is I use this one, it's larger, so I use it as sort of a writing surface in my planner. I'll stick it behind whatever page I'm working on. And I've decided to use some of the rub-ons on this one. And so what you do is you cut out the rub-on that you want to use rather than trying to use it from the whole sheet, because you'll not quite get only the rub-on you want. You'll end up getting more, which doesn't always work out well. So there you go. Just do it with the popsicle stick that's included. Make sure you get the backing paper off first. And there we go, getting that one adhered on. And they go really easily on. Actually, just make sure you run the marker, the popsicle stick, over the whole thing. So there we go. I decided to use a little washi tape to hold that card in place. And I was going to put some at the bottom too, and then ultimately just decided I did not like it at all. So there we go, trimming off the excess. And that looks pretty good to me. So now I'm going to use one of the backer cards. I think that came with the alphabet letters, those 1-inch alphabet letters. But what I figured out is that it's just a little too tall for that backer card, which is fine. So I figured out how much I needed to trim off to make it fit the backer card. And now I'm going to just glue them together. Again, with that glue pen. Loving it. Okay. Getting that glued on. And then I'm going to get it trimmed up so that it's the same. And I've found that trimming them after they're glued together seems to work out better. Otherwise, you'll just never have even edges. Okay, and while I don't mind it saying Cocoa Daisy up there, I mean, certainly that would be fine. I just thought maybe I would add a little element to it. And so I start looking around, and there I found those glasses, and I thought they were just perfect. So I'm going to stick those on there. And I'm not using a ton of glue on any of these because I know that I'm going to put them in a lamination sheet and run it through the laminator. So, okay, so I'm going to line them up in the lamination sheet and run them through. I am using a 5mm piece of lamination. And I always run it through twice. It's quite thick, and let my machine get good and warm before I use it. So here you see it going through a second time. And then I'm going to get the paper cutter back out and start trimming it up. I like to trim somewhat close to the edges, but not right up to them, or they'll come apart. So just trimming off the excess here. I'm going to get my scissors. And I need to fussy cut this top piece because of that circle tab up at the top. I couldn't cut it with a paper cutter. And then I'm going to round punch the edges of all 4 sides. One side would not punch because it's too close to that circle, so I just round it off with my scissors. I just like them rounded because the lamination can be a little bit sharp and you can like scratch yourself with it, so I always do that. Okay, so here I am doing the other one, getting it cut, trimmed up, just so, and then punching those corners. And now what I do is I like to take a little bit, a few sheets of the sticky notes that are in there, and I adhere them to the blank space on my page marker and bookmark so that I always have them handy, because I'll use them throughout the month for little notes and thoughts, and then when I'm done with them, I can just let them go. So here we go, sticking them in place. And there you go. Those are my finished products. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and make sure you like this video and subscribe.